Where do you think you have a higher likelihood of growing and excelling in your career? Is it spending more time in the office? Or is it spending more time virtually? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about why you should spend more time in the office. But before we get into that video, please remember to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want more content just like this, designed to help make you a better leader. Now, a few weeks ago, I put up a short clip from an interview that I did. It was maybe a 20 or 30 second clip. It went up on Instagram and a couple other places, and it went pretty viral. And the video basically talked about why working from home is over. Now, again, it was a 20 to 30 second clip, so some of the context was removed to get it to be a little bit more controversial and fun for people to view. And what was really interesting about that video is that I got a lot of angry comments from people saying that working from home is great, it's amazing, I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm an idiot. Ironically enough, that video also got more likes than any other video that I put up online. Now, one of the other things that I did is I put up a poll on LinkedIn. And I asked that same question. I said, where do you think you have a higher likelihood of being successful? Is it spending more time in the office or spending more time virtually? By far, the largest number of people who responded to that poll said that they have a higher likelihood of becoming successful if they spend more time in the office, not spending more time virtually. And this is where I think the interesting problem comes to play. And that is the difference, well, two things here. One is the difference between productivity versus innovation. And the other one is the difference between your personal goals versus the goals of the business. Did you know that 96% of the people who watch videos on this channel are not subscribed? That's pretty crazy, right? Make sure that you hit subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified when more videos just like this one are released. So let's start with the first one, productivity versus innovation. Do I think that you could never step foot into the office and be productive? Sure. In fact, if you just have a big list of things that you need to get off of your to-do list, by all means, you can stay at home and just cross those off of your to-do list. That's productivity. But in my opinion, productivity just means that you're going to go out of business later. You're going to go out of business slower. We're not looking for productivity. A lot of leaders of organizations are not looking for productivity. They want innovation. They want growth. They want new opportunities. They want to be able to solve complex problems and challenges, not just be productive. In fact, very recently, the CEO of Elevest, Sally Kraschik, I believe is the way that you say her last name. If not, I apologize. But she was interviewed and she said that her company as a whole was very productive, but creativity struggled, innovation struggled. And that's kind of the big problem that we're seeing. Microsoft is another organization that said the same thing. They said, we are able to be productive from home, but our innovation, our creativity has struggled. And this is the balance between productivity and innovation. And this is one of the two areas that I wanted to go over. Productivity, great. Do that anywhere you want. But if you want that innovation and growth, there is still a lot of value for doing that kind of stuff, solving complex problems in person. Now, the second thing, and the title of this video, is why you should spend more time in the office. And to give you a caveat before we get into that, you should spend more time in the office if you have goals and aspirations of leadership. If you want to lead a team, a business, a function, an organization, one day becoming a CEO, you need to spend more time in the office. If you do not have those aspirations, you are content where you are, you want to be an individual contributor, you never want to excel and get beyond what you're doing, then chances are you probably never need to step foot into your office. However, if you do have those goals and aspirations, spending more time in the office, I think, is going to be huge for you for a few reasons. Number one, you're going to be around your leaders. These are people who are going to coach you, who are going to mentor you. They're going to see you in action. Number two is you are going to be on display in front of your peers. People will see how you work. They will see how you approach problems and tackle challenges. There's something about body language and that in-person communication and collaboration that you cannot replicate behind a screen. Another point for leadership development. Do you think you're going to be more effective at learning how to lead behind a screen? Or are you going to be more effective learning how to lead in person where your leaders are actually there? So it is in your best interest to spend more time in the office. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be there 9 to 5. I'm not saying that you need to sleep in the office. And I'm not saying that there is even a direct correlation between the number of hours that you spend in the office versus how successful you're going to be. I don't think there's any studies on that. But what I can say is from the hundreds of CEOs, the thousands of CEOs and leaders that I've worked with and interviewed over the years, they all collectively believe in the value of in-person work, especially when it comes to promotion and looking for other leaders. In fact, none of the CEOs that I've ever interviewed have ever told me that they got to where they are by never stepping foot into the office. And so what this means is that you need to be aware of the type of work that you're doing, whether it is for a strategic business meeting, whether it's for collaboration, meeting with a client or a customer, an all hands meeting, leadership training and development. You should spend more time in the office for those types of things. And even occasionally just show up to work, just to work in the office. And I think if you do that, you will see a much higher likelihood. And again, assuming you're doing a good job, right? You can't just show up to work and goof off and say, hey, why am I not getting promoted? Assuming you're doing a good job, I think you will have a far higher likelihood of excelling and growing in your career as opposed to just staying at home. Now imagine a scenario, right? All other things being equal. Jacob and Jane were both up for a promotion. Jane never shows up to the office, but I'm in the office 3 days a week and I'm working with my leaders. I'm occasionally grabbing coffee with them. They're seeing me in action. We're saying hi as we walk down the halls. We have quick chats and brainstorming sessions. Jane never gets access to any of those things. In fact, if Jane isn't on a structured Zoom call, she's never getting that interaction with the leader. Who do you think is going to get promoted into that leadership role? Is it going to be Jacob or is it going to be Jane? It is going to be Jacob 100% of the time. So again, this goes back to the goals and the aspirations that you have for yourself. If you want to get into a leadership role, you want to become a better leader, you want to learn, you want to grow, you want to get that hands-on training, the mentoring, the coaching, executive presence, the communication. If you want to be able to do those things, spend more time in the office. This is especially important now when so many people don't even want to go up to the office, right? So when you're surrounded by people who refuse and don't want to go to work, there's a unique opportunity for you to be that person who says, you know what? I am going to be the one to go to work. Let all of my competitors, let all of my peers stay home and stare at their screens. I'm going to be the one that's going to get dressed, make myself look good, show up to work, spend time with my leaders, make those occasional sacrifices, put in the time, put in the effort, let myself get that visibility. You are going to be the one who's going to excel and grow and get into a leadership role faster than your peers. So if you want to get ahead in your career, spend more time in the office. There's still a lot of value for in-person work. Love to hear what you think. Leave me a comment below whether you disagree or whether you agree. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of people out there who disagree with me. I'd love to hear your perspectives and your opinions on this as well. And if you want more content just like this, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll see you next time.